Hi everyone, it's Mr. Irwin here with today's lesson. We're going to cover the very last operation in our review of the basic mathematical operations today with dividing whole numbers. So we have our first example on the screen, 872 divided by 2. Now if we're going to work this out by hand, the very first step we want to follow is to rewrite the problem, and we're going to write this in the form of long division. So we're going to start with a long division bar. And this first number in the division problem, the 872, that number is called the dividend. And the dividend always goes inside of the long division bar. So we're going to put the 872 inside the long division bracket. 872 is being divided by 2. The 2 in this case, the number that we are dividing by, is called the divisor, and that goes outside on the left of the long division bar. So once we have this long division set up with the dividend inside the bracket and the divisor outside, we're ready for step 2, which is the DMSCB loop. I believe in earlier grades you guys called it, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? So the D stands for divide. So we're going to take our divisor and we're going to figure out or decide how many times that divisor will fit into the first digit of our dividend, in this case the 8. So how many times will 2 fit into 8? Well, 2 can go into 8 4 times, so I'm going to place the 4 directly above the 8. That's the divide step. Next, M, multiply. We're going to take that 4 and we're going to multiply it by the divisor 2. 4 times 2 is 8, and we're going to write that number directly below the digit we just divided into. Next step, S, subtract. We're going to subtract that value from the digit. 8 minus 8 is 0. That's the end of the subtraction step. Next, C for check. Please don't forget this step. It's a great way to make sure you're doing your division correctly so far. Always check. This difference must be less than the divisor. If you get a value after you subtract that is equal to or larger than your divisor, it means you made an error somewhere in your math and you need to go back and check it out. Right now I have a 0, which is definitely less than 2, so I'm good to go to move on to the final step here, B for bring down. What that means is we're going to take our next digit in the dividend, in this case the 7, and we're going to bring it down. And then finally, 3, we're going to repeat all of this again until no digits in our dividend remain. So we're going to divide again. This time we're taking 2 into 7. If I count by 2s, how many values can I say before I get to 7? Well, it's going to go in there 3 times. Next step, multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. Ready for the S step, which is subtract. Does McDonald's sell? Subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. Check step. Don't forget it. 1 is less than 2, so I'm good to go. So we're going to bring down the next digit to get 12. And R, we're ready to repeat everything again. Divide step. 2 goes into 12. It's going to fit in 6 times. Multiply. 6 times 2 is 12. Subtract step. 12 minus 12 is 0. C, check step. 0 is less than 2, so we're good to go. No more digits left to bring down, meaning I am done. My final answer, 436. And because that is an answer to a division problem, we call that the quotient. The quotient is 436. All right, let's try another example together. This time we're going to do 589 divided by 5. Just like before, we're going to set this up as a long division problem first. So I have 589 as my dividend. It goes inside my long division bracket, and 5 as the divisor is going to go outside. If it helps you out, list your steps over here on the side so you know you don't miss any. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? So D for divide. We're dividing our divisor 5 into the first digit 5. 5 will go into 5 once. Next step, multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. S for subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. Check step, don't forget it. 0 is less than 5, so we're ready to bring down the next digit, which is the 8. So we're dropping the 8 down, and it's time to repeat that entire cycle again. Back up to D for divide. 5 goes into 8. We can fit it one time. Multiply step. 1 times 5 is 5. Ready for subtraction. 8 minus 5 is 3. Check step. 3 is less than 5. So we are permitted to bring down this 9. And we're going to repeat this process again. Divide 5 into 39. How many 5s can I fit into 39? If you count by 5s, how many values will you say before you hit 39? It's going to fit in there 7 times. Multiply step. 7 times 5 is 35. Ready to subtract. 39 minus 35 is 4. Running our check step. 4 is less than 5, but there's nothing left to bring down. So I'm finished with the division loop. But because we have 4 left over, there's a couple things that can take place here. This week, I'm cool with remainders. We could just say our quotient is 117, remainder 4. And that will be fine for this week. If you want to be a little more mathematically sound, instead of sticking with a remainder, what we can do is add a decimal point, which will allow us to add one more 0, and we can bring that 0 down and do another loop of this division. Dividing 5 goes into 40. Don't forget to bring your decimal point up into your quotient 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. When I subtract, I got nothing left. Check step. 0 is less than 5 and nothing left to bring down with no remainder. So a more exact answer, 117.8. So if you went decimal form, 117.8. If you went remainder form, 117 remainder 4. I would accept either of those this week. Okay. Finally, I have 2 long division problems for you to try on your own, so copy these down on a sheet of paper, pause the video, and complete them on your own. Once you're finished working both of them out, go ahead and start playing the video again to check your work. All right, so I hope you had enough time to complete both these problems. I'm going to go over both of them, so check your work with me as we roll through them. 648 divided by 4. Division step. 4 goes into 6 once. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 is less than 4, so I can bring down my next digit. Repeating that DMSCB loop. 4 going into 24 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract. 24 minus 24 is 0. Check. 0 is less than 4, so I can now bring down the 8. One more time. Division D. 4 goes into 8 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. 0 is less than 4. Nothing left to bring down. Final quotient, 162. All right, second problem, 1,563 divided by 9. Rewriting this in long division. Dividend, 1,563 inside of the long division bracket. Divisor 9 on the outside. Let's divide. Now, 9 can't go into the first digit 1 at all. So I'm actually going to hop to the second digit to give this a total of 15. So I'm counting how many 9s will fit into 15. 9 will go into 15 once. 1 times 9 is 9. 15 minus 9 is 6. 6 is less than 9, so I can bring down this next 6. Now we're dividing 9 into 66. That will fit in 7 times. 7 times 9 is 63. Time to subtract. 66 minus 63 is 3. Run your check step. 3 is less than 9, so I can bring down the 3. 9 into 33 now will go 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. 33 minus 27 gives me 6. 6 is less than 9, nothing left to bring down, so the 6 I have left over is a remainder, so the final quotient for this 173, remainder 6. If you did try to convert that to decimal form, you'll notice that as you divide, you'll have 173.66666, and it's going to repeat on forever. So if you wanted a shorthand for that to show the repetition of that 6, I could just write 173.6, and then we place this repetend bar above the 6 to show that it repeats forever. So I would accept either of those values for this quotient, 173 remainder 6 or 173.6 repeating. Please complete the independent practice for dividing whole numbers, take a picture of your work, and upload it for submission. I'll see you guys next time.